our yoga practice at home and all these great things that just are here. Okay. All right. Okay, sit on something if you need to. I'm gonna give heart. Take one from myself. Just lift the seat up a little bit. Start to kind of create for ourselves that which we need. Loving support, supportive energy, and our own, I'm going to use the word divine, our own divine presence. Here we are. Take a nice big breath in and fill yourself up and lift your heart, and then let that breath go from your mouth. Feel the transcending, descending, and do that again. Nice full inhale. Lift your heart, and as you exhale this time, bring the hands together in front of the heart and bow your chin. Rest your thumbs on your upper chest. Smile so you can instantly soften all those muscles in your face. And in your silence, in your quiet, welcome yourself to your practice. Together, separate yet together, we'll chant Om 3 times. Inhale fully to lengthen and release this breath completely. Inhale fully. Om. 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 Move down your chin, release your hands to your thighs, lift your chin, and open your eyes. Okay, we're going to stay seated for a little bit. So if you're not sitting on something, find it. Stretch your beautiful, healthy, strong legs out. Move your toes, your ankles, side the wrists. Yes, lift your heart, smile, wiggle your fingers. All right, and then we're going to come back to cross-legged. I'm going to go opposite cross. I can remember what that is. And then you find whatever you need. Take your hands to your knees, lift yourself tall as you inhale. As you exhale, take your belly back, tuck your chin, release the breath into cat pose. Inhale to lengthen nice and tall. And as you exhale, lift the heart forward, maybe the hands slide back, look up. Inhale to lengthen and continue on at your own breath pace here. Just feeling this inner workings, inner body connecting from the base of your spine, your tailbone, all the way up to the top of the spine, at the skull. Good. One more. And this time, as we come back, I'm just going to start to circle. If you need to put your hands on the floor, do that. Just circling. And someone's beside you, maybe you coordinate. There we go. Okay. Good. And just feel your own dance. Maybe you hear some cracking. All that's good stuff. And let's do maybe 2 more. Coordinate your breath somehow. And then reverse and change the direction. Oh, literally stirring ourselves. Good. Okay, come to the center, lengthen tall, release the hands and reach up. Take a few breaths here and feel free to undulate. Change your legs. Do whatever you need to do here. Reach up as tall as you can. Open your hands. Drop your jaw. And as we exhale, take the left hand down. Reach up through the right side and side bend. Yeah. Stay here. See if you can find this a little bit of a deeper place to move into. And drop the left shoulder. Yeah. Good. You can come up, lift both arms up, and right hand down. Reach up through the left side and press in. And then hang out and just be playfully curious. Push the right shoulder down. Oh, come all the way up. Take your hands down. Stretch your legs out. Move your little feet around. Okay, I actually wanted to start standing at the wall. So I'm going to creatively stand up. Maybe a this, and this, yeah. And then, yeah, well, if you don't have your mat at a wall, you could move it over. Okay. Let me fix my camera angles. So you don't really need to see my feet, I don't think. Okay, great. Adjust your outfit. Okay, we're just going to take a wall stretch. And sometimes we go like right to the wall. We place the hands. Just put your hand at the wall, anywhere, and step back a couple places. And just once you're kind of in a place where your shoulders are happy, you might even bob with the breath like we did a moment ago. And just want you to start to feel that the hands are connected to the wall and the feet are connected to the floor. You might have to bend your knees and replace your hands and just feel. I push the hips back a little bit. Keep the hands engaged, feet engaged. So you're just playing with whatever place here. You can feel yourself lengthening. Okay, let's take a rest. So lift yourself up and just walk your feet in and turn around. Rest your hips at the wall with the feet a little bit forward. We're going to bend the knees, and we did this in class the other day without the wall. I'm just going to put the hands here. Okay, and then here, look at your feet. And then maybe lift the toes and press everything else down. And you feel the sit bones, maybe you can walk up the wall a little bit. So from the feet anchoring, sit bones at the wall. And just feel here, maybe, a little cat-cow, maybe. Just kind of feeling in. Okay, let your feet relax. Maybe the hips slide down the wall a little bit. We'll just press ourselves up and take your hands to the wall. And we'll come back to wall stretch. Oh, that feels great. Okay, put your hands anywhere. Step back. Just find like a place to be here. Feel free to move it around a little bit. And then find a bend in your knees. Little bends. You can walk your hands down if you need to. And we're going to play with cat-cow. You're going to tuck your tail and just feel everything kind of respond to that. And then maybe you send the tail back. You're just going to play with cat-cow and just feel like at certain points, where does that feel really good in my back, in my feet? A little bit of a different plane here, a little cat-cow. And yeah. Good. Let's do one more. So you're tucking the tail to move into the cat pose and moving the tail back. Good. And then stay as you are and find a place. I have to walk my feet back a little bit where you can have straight legs and maybe a straight back. So some of you might walk your feet in, take the arms up higher. And just see I'm talking straight back. Do I have a straight back? Yes. Just be here, feel this extension. Maybe as you press the thighs back, slip one back. Maybe some of you might even benefit from drawing the tailbone down a little bit and feeling the feet anchor. Okay, and then bring yourself up, walk yourself to the wall, turn around, drop the tush, and then come into either, forearms here, just gonna let the head go, or you can let your arms, dangle, hands to the floor. So a supported forward fold or whatever's better for you. Just take a few breaths. Good. Okay. I'm gonna press the hips away from the wall, taking my hands to the floor, even though you can't see them. I'm gonna walk them forward. I'm just gonna come down and sit on our knees for a moment. So take a blanket if you like. And either sitting on the tops of the feet or toes tucked under. So whatever you choose, just, and if this is like, what? You just sit any old way. Take a few moments. Okay. All right, so we're at the wall. I'm going to throw all this in right now. We're going to do, I'm choosing my words carefully. We're going to do a handstand at the wall, but it could just be like a one-legger. So whatever works. So I'm just going to move the camera. Okay, so from here, you're going to walk the feet back towards the wall. Everyone can do this, and your feet don't have to touch the wall. Anchor your hands, anchor your arms. And then you're going to press up to a very narrow dog. The knees can stay bent. And let's start with one leg at a time. So the big toes touch, take the right leg up. I'm keeping mine low just for visual. You have the toes tucked under. And then press the heel up towards the wall, lengthen yourself. Anchor this left thigh back. Anchor your hands. One more breath. And then we'll just switch legs. Do the opposite leg up, tuck the toes under. Oh yeah, press it. And then just feel like from your hands, your feet are anchored, and everything in between gets a lengthening and strengthening. Okay, both feet down. Drop onto your knees. Maybe you take a rest, child's pose, move your wrists. I'm going to do it again. This time I'm going to take both feet to the wall. And I can either, do downward dog or do the same thing we did, or do this. Plant your hands, tuck your toes, find your narrow dog. One foot hip height. And then the other one, just push into the wall. Even if your knees are bent here, you just come, okay. Maybe the legs walk up a bit. Just be nice and strong. Maybe one leg's going to lift in the air. And then the other one. And then we're all going to come down. And I'm going to sit again. This time I'm going to sit on the tops of the feet. I'm going to move those wrists. Feel good. Good. Okay. Let's grab our blocks. We'll put the blocks up at the front. I'm just going to do a little bit of lunging. So I'm going to take a blanket and support your knees. You need that. Okay. So I have my blocks on the second height. It could be any height. Now go ahead, knees right together, toes tucked under. I'm going to step the left foot forward. So maybe it goes here, and then you help it. Or you just find it. And then we'll just rock a little bit here, forward and back. So blocks on the highest height might be more helpful. Okay, so we've got this. Come into the lunge, pause for a moment. Okay, adjust what you need to adjust. And now go back by taking the tail back. Take the tail back. And then curl the tail in and move it forward and just play with that. for a few moments. So it's going to change maybe what muscles you feel getting used. I'm going to do one more. I'm just going to think about it. And then I'm going to come into this lunge. And I could say tucking the tail, but it's really drawing the tailbone down. And then maybe the arms come up and we lift up. And it's the bowing of the sacrum up, heart lifted, head back. It's connection to your spine. One more breath. Good. Release. Okay, I'm taking tail back to move the legs back. Just straighten this front leg. We're going to hang out in the straight leg for a moment. I'm just lifting block for visual. Okay. Then now here, I'm going to take the tail back. That's where things start to get really interesting. So if you need to bend your knee, you need to have the blocks in closer, do all that. And just be here. Okay, now I'm starting to push this right thigh, the bent knee, I'm pushing the thigh back. Okay, and then maybe you walk yourself out, bring the knees together. Again, let's ditch the blocks for a moment. Put the hands down and just be a little puppy dog, wag your tail. And then take your tail over to the left and take a little peek over your left shoulder. And then switch sides. Okay, come back. I'm just going to roll this cat-cow, and I'm really just rolling the hips, or doing my best at just the hips and the tailbone that are moving. Just kind of see if you can keep it in low, and then reverse that. And creating all this nice space. Good. Okay, come to center. Oh, maybe a few regular old cat-cows so they don't feel left out. All right, now I'm going to put the blocks back, bring the knees together, then step the right foot forward, just find your place, and then take a few moments and just move in front to back without any tailbone awareness to just feel what else you need, blocks higher, more support, and then come into the lunge. And now feel the tailbones drawing the action. This can be so deep that maybe you're like, what? You know, I remember I did a week workshop on the tailbone very early in my practice, and I had no idea where it was at the end of it. So, you know, these are things that we grow our awareness to. Okay, now tuck the tailbone and come into lunge. I say tuck, but it's really a drawing down, and it's drawing the tail down that kind of lifts you up. Then I want to find that sacrum up, heart up, head back, reach the arms up, and extend wherever you can through the arms, through the breath. You know, just creating some space amid the wobbling and the imbalance. Take your hands down. Now take the tailbone back, move it into lunge. Yeah. And once that leg is straight, blocks can come in, blocks can go up. You find it. And then you feel, okay, tailbone back is the action. Once I can kind of plug into that, I feel this huge stretch underneath the leg. And now I'm going to add this left thigh. I'm just going to press it back so that the foot anchors a little bit. And find the strength in the pose. Good. Okay. Now I'm just going to plant that foot again. I'm going to come up to a wide-legged. I'm going to walk the blocks around, and then just whoop, pop yourself up. You can be on your blocks. And then we're just going to wag the tail side to side and let your knees bend if they want to do that. It's a different thing too if you keep the legs straight and just wag the tail. So you can play with both. Yeah. Okay. And then we're going to bring it into this wide-legged. You can go wider. I have this thing on my mat because I'm fancy and it causes me to slip. So turn your toes in a little bit and really anchor into the feet. And then inhale, lift yourself up, and exhale and start to fold down between your legs and You need to be on the blocks. You feel like the more the tailbone can lift, and it's really not going to do that. It's just in your mind. How can I lift up so I can drop down more? Just feel like I can get a little longer, length of the spine, round of the head, releasing. Okay, one more breath. Good. And then walk your hands back. Maybe find your blocks. You're gonna do a little bit of just moving side to side. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna come back to sit. So I'm just gonna hop this right foot beside the left and then lower down. Okay, so I have this blanket here. How perfect is that? Good. I'm gonna take the blocks and just set them aside. Maybe no bolster. I was gonna say grab your bolster, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna take this back foot and just turn it to point back. And then here you're like, oh, I need more support. I'm really lifted. Throw another blanket in. I'll wait. Take one more breath. Okay, I'm gonna put the right hand down, spread the fingers, turn the left palm, sweep it up. Maybe let the right elbow, if it can go down to the floor. I'm anchoring. I'm gonna press the left hand as if I'm pushing something away here. Good. Okay, one more breath here. Now I'm going to turn the belly, the chest to look for the floor. Bring the other forearm down. Let the hips lift. And then walk your forearms behind you more. And we're going to come into a deep twist. So you bring them all the way behind you. Anchor the elbows down from the shoulders to the elbows. You can feel your feet maybe get involved. Push the floor away from the direction your face turns your head away from your knees. Okay. Find a place. So I'm walking my forearms back more because I want it to be a little tighter for the breath to really have to work to get into. One more breath. Good. Okay. Plant the left hand. Bring yourself out. You're going to keep this right forearm on the floor. Maybe you bring the legs because we're going to lift the hips. So you just kind of see what you can do here. I'm going to take this over. Okay, come all the way down. Come back up. Plant the hand. We're going to come up again, but this time on the hand. So plug the shoulder in. Come on up. I straighten the leg in the last one. And here if you want to. It doesn't have to. Good. Okay, come all the way back. Stay in this shape. Left hand on the floor on your thigh. And we'll just take an awkward little layover here. So, you might even floss a little bit. One more breath. Okay. Release. I'm going to change the position of the legs. No hands. Whoa, look at that. That's amazing. Take that on the road. Come back. So you're sitting. You turn this back foot back. And then here you want to feel like both sit bones are down. So if that's not happening, just create a higher lift. So you find it as best as you can today. Okay. Take a breath. And then we're going to plant that left hand and taking it far away. Take the right arm up and over, maybe come down onto the left forearm. And just extend inside the pose. Pressing maybe the hips away. Open yourself up. And you could do that simply just by being aware of the breath. Good. Okay, we're going to take this right arm, forearm to the floor. You're going to walk it around as far as you need to go until things start to get a little crunchy and in a good way. And then anchor from the shoulders to the elbows. Turn your belly, maybe the chest, away from the knees. Take your head, look away from the knees. Soften your jaw. Oh, if things open up, go for more crunchy. Walk your hands behind you more. With the softness of your breath, you just encourage it into tight places. And take the right hand to the floor and bring the left forearm in. We're going to prepare for liftoff. You take your time and then just lift yourself up. Here, I'm going to pop that leg out. Just reach, find your strength, ground into the ground. Lift up towards the sky. Notice which side is weaker. This one for me. Come back and put the hand up and do the same thing. So plant, plug, lift, lift. If you want to straighten the leg, straighten the leg. Oh, just open yourself. Two things are different. So good. Okay. Release. Let's do this. Let's take this blanket. I'm just going to turn it so it's torso. You might want something else for your head. You see it. I have my hips are on the floor. Everything else supported, head supported. Bend your knees, plant your feet, take the knees together, take the arms out to the side. Good. And with every exhale, surrender to the floor. Good. Okay. So we're going to take cat-cow here, and we're really just playing with this idea of the tailbone moving. So I'm going to walk the feet hip distance apart, knees are separated. Maybe the feet come in a little closer towards your hips. I'm just bending my elbows here for effect, but it's not a bad place to go, to bend the elbows, and then you can plug the shoulders down, really tuck the head. And then we're going to start by tilting the tailbone down, so you get this low back lift. And just feel like if I stay there, maybe I can anchor the upper arms, lift the shoulders, and plug the shoulder blades a little closer together. And then release that by drawing the tailbone up towards the knees. So you're not really lifting anything but maybe just the tail and the cheeks. Everything else is plugged in. Okay, and then we'll just go through those. So you're just feeling, how much movement do you have here? A little or a lot? So you're just going through this pelvic tilt, anchoring the tail towards the floor and then drawing the tail up towards maybe the backs of the knees. I'm going to just do this 2 more times. And then once you finish, then just rest, and you can stretch the legs out, let the arms go like your Shavasana rest. Just feel like, working the core. There's the core. Your core strength happens between the hip bones and everything there. Feel that expanding energetics just moving maybe into your legs, into the heart, maybe into the arms. Okay. So one more breath in, side out, and we're going to come to full Setubandha lift. That's that knees, little bridge. I'm going to anchor the upper arms, anchor the shoulders, open the hands, everything just so excited to be here. So walk your feet in, feel your feet on the floor, and then release the breath, sink into the floor with your belly, like just let it go. And then inhale. And as you exhale, anchor the feet, lift the tailbone, and you're just going to come into your version of little bridge, whatever that is. Little, big. I'm going to hang out here for a few breaths. I'm going to take my arms down, palms down. Maybe bring the hands together, interlace them underneath you, if that makes sense. You might widen your feet apart. Lift yourself up. Feel all the parts touching the earth. Okay, release your hands if you brought them together and lower yourself all the way down. Bring your hands to rest on your belly. Widen your feet apart, drop the knees in. Okay, open your arms out to the side. Widen the knees apart. On your exhale, drop the knees to the right. And then feel, inhale, come back through center, and exhale, knees drop to the left. And we'll just windshield wiper, so just rocking these knees side to side. Now you can initiate this action through the tailbone. It is a cat-cow. So the tailbone draws down as we lift the knees up, and the tailbone moves forward as we drop the knees over to the side. Just kind of feel if that's a place of, oh, look at that, interest. It's all happening. We're just bringing our awareness there. Even if you never, ever, ever thought about it, it's still happening. Okay, I'm gonna let this be the last one as I take the knees over to the left. And do one more lift. This time I'm gonna take my arms overhead, and I like it. You do what, you can repeat what we just did or whatever works. So I exhale and soften to the floor. Inhale to prepare. And with the exhale, you start to lift the tail. Feet will anchor. Come on up wherever you go. You know, I'm just naturally widening my feet apart, but not letting the toes turn out. Lengthen from the hip flexors out to your knees. And from the knees down to the feet. Take one more breath. And then as you exhale, lower down. Can you lower down from the top all the way to the bottom? So maybe the tailbone is the last thing to come down. And this time as we come down, I'm going to hug the knees into the chest, but just rock them side to side. Just very gently. And then we're going to start to circle these knees. So you can hold on to them as you circle. So you're rolling a little bit side to side. Change the direction. Yes. Now I'm releasing the arms. I'm going to let these circles be bigger. Still going in that opposite direction. So feet come in and just finding whatever feels natural. And then change direction. Good. Okay. Hug the knees in. Then we'll they can go wide apart. I'm just going to draw them in and out maybe, or just hold them. And then you want to find a place where we can hug the knees in and soften the tailbone as if it wants to, you know, almost find that. And as we draw the knees in, we move naturally into a bit of a cat pose. But we want to invite in the cow with the tailbone descending. You just kind of feel whatever you got here. A little bit for the hip flexors. Feel yourself grounded. I'm going to say from the back of your skull all the way towards the tailbone. Good. That's it. Release your feet to the floor. Good. Okay. Walk your feet in a little bit. This time we're going to put the hands underneath the tush. Just lift up. Hands go, palms facing down, fingers spread, and maybe they turn in a little bit. So I land with my thumbs at the top of the sacrum. Whatever you, as long as it's not discomfort, you're in a good place. It's too much for the shoulders. You can pull the hands out a little bit. Okay, we're going to come back to windshield wiper. So you can walk your feet away. They can go out more. And you can play with that as we just roll side to side. And we're really hoping, I'm hoping that your hands are going to give you a little bit of massage into this outer hip area. So it's not so much about the windshield wiper as it is about putting a little pressure into this outer hip flexor on the side of the cheek there. That's it. Good. We'll just do this a few more times and being playfully curious, whatever is arising. Good. And then, oh, okay, do one more. Take the feet down, take the hands back out, stretch the legs out. Let's take a pseudo shavasana. Okay, we have nothing underneath us, just this blanket. If you put something else for your head, take it out. You're gonna bring the knees into the chest, hopefully at the same time. And then we're gonna rock and roll up to sitting. So same rules as always. If this is not happy for you, just roll to the side. But how fun would it be when we're on our 90s and we're doing this? Okay, bring yourself up and yeah, oh yeah, all the way for sure. Yes, I love it. Okay, but we're gonna bring it down. So I'm gonna take. I'm gonna face the wall. Oh well, you know, I had an idea, but now we're gonna do legs up the wall because we're all here anyway. And let's do it with a bolster under the head. I'll put this blanket back down. So we're not going to go right close to the wall. We're going to have some space. You can put your socks on, friends, or anything else you like to be comfy and cozy. Well, let's bring a strap in, just so we have it. Just, you know, it's nice to kind of belt the legs, but you can also do that with a blanket over your feet and then just tying them up. So whatever works. You know, it's nice to, oh, too far away. So I want to be at a place where remember when we stood with our hips at the wall and the feet on the floor and we had a little bit of an angle? Just a little bit of an angle. So if you know, I wrapped up with this sweater of mine, so it's actually perfect. But if you want to take the belt, you just do it up around the thighs. You don't even need to actually do it up. You could just tie it up. It's there just to kind of hold so you can relax a little more. Now, whatever works. And then take your arms out and you know, here, once you're set up, so the head is supported, shoulders are releasing. We can imagine, you know, the tailbone, maybe you can feel it just relaxing. And the length of your spine just receiving the support. If it's not good for you, you can always bend your knees. And let's just come into the power of the breath. So that doesn't mean you force it to be longer or stronger than it wants to be. You're just dropping your, you know, your eyes are closed, your inner gaze, your inner hearing, your inner awareness to the flow of this breath. We did all this tailbone awareness. And what happens naturally in your body when you're breathing is the tailbone and actually the brainstem move in opposite, just like, you know, like a leaf on the wind. They move with the breath in opposition of each other. We didn't really talk about the brainstem, but we did a lot with the tailbone. So just bring your awareness down to the tailbone, and as you start to rest here, can you tune into the subtle movement that is just naturally occurring? So the very, very subtle drawing down of the tailbone as you inhale. And the very subtle movement of the tailbone just curling up as you exhale. Just take a few more breaths here. If you want to take your arms and reach them up and over, they could rest on the bolster. They could be bent. You could have them underneath your head if you like, or holding on to opposite elbows. It just changes very slightly the breath, moving it more up into the sides of the ribs. Just tuning into the flow of your breath and magical happenings without your awareness that just occur happening inside. Well, you're going to bend the knees. If you belted your legs, and just start to undo the belt and covered your feet or whatever you did here, just kind of free the legs a little bit. And then we're going to bend the knees, and hopefully maybe we're in a good spot. We don't have to shift. Good. And then just feel, a little bit more pressure now, tailbone, and then you feel a little arch in the low back. If you need to pull the blanket down or fold it over, do that. Okay. So we're pretty close to the wall. I'm going to take the right ankle and cross it over the left knee. If it's very tight, just lift your left leg up a little bit, or even cross above the shin if that's better for you. Good. Okay. So we're here. I'm going to take the right hand and just start to open this right thigh. Just very gently. Okay, so when we take the leg over, we shift the hips, and you might even feel that the right side might be longer, left side shrinking. Or maybe it's the opposite way, whatever. Just be aware of what's happening. Okay, so here we are, however you are here, not feeling too much stress. What I want you to do here is to feel like, we talked about the tailbone, but now we're going to hug the hips in towards each other. And so that might feel like I'm drawing my navel in and up a little bit, maybe lifting the sacrum. Just kind of see what you can do to gather in, the two hips towards each other, looking for balance. Just play with that. And you keep the chest soft. Maybe the arms want to go back out or wherever they are. Okay. Now release all the effort you're doing and feel that effort release. You might notice the knee wants to move up or the hips kind of find their adjusting. Just feel that. And then just one more time here. Hug everything in down below. You might even, the feet might come in. You might open. Just hug it in. Hug it in. Even like the legs, thighs are almost want to squeeze together. And then release. Good. Okay, stay here or bring that left thigh in and thread the needle as your jam and just rock it a little bit side to side. Okay, release, feet to the wall, heel toe your feet nice and wide apart. Take a nice long squat here. You're gonna really anchor into the heels, take your hands to your thighs, push the thighs towards the wall. Feel what the tailbone does. It's going to start to draw down. It might get a little arch in your back. And you might not. It might be the opposite for you. Let's notice what it is. One more breath. And then release your hands. Intentionally heel toe your feet back together, but not together. Hip distance apart. And take the left ankle over the right. Adjust whatever you need. Okay. Take your left hand to your left thigh and gently just press this away. You're just opening it, just feeling. You might start to notice, the left side wants to open more, the right side shrinks. It might be the opposite way, depending on where your knee is. But things come off balance. Now you're just going to find that hip hugging. Already practiced in it. Hugging the hips towards each other. The belly comes maybe in. You might feel like an in and out. Sacrum might lift. Feet are more active. Just drawing in. Soften the breath, the chest, the head. Just really center this here. Everything's really drawing in. Okay, now release so slowly to feel what happens when I'm not engaging. Look at all that. Oof, so much shifting in my body. Okay, one more time. Hug it in. Feel everything come into this engagement without any tension in our back because we're doing this on the floor. Hug it in. What's your tailbone doing? Just notice. You don't need to change it. It knows what it's doing. And then lovingly release all that. And maybe you stay here and just rock side to side, or you bring it in for thread the needle, hugging behind the thigh or the shin. And just open into this. Okay. This time I'm just going to hug both knees in. I'm going to take this bolster out. You might want to keep it. You see, we're going to go to happy baby with our newly opened hips. Just rock side to side. Now in this pose, a lot of times the tailbone's lifting or more on the mid back, and that is just fine. But if you come into stillness on your back, thumbs against the index fingers, and you push the feet into the hands and the hands kind of pull back, you might find that the tailbone is going to move. Maybe it's going to just point straight out like a laser. You just feel this is very active. And then you're using any bit of active, can you soften? And then just rock side to side. And this time I'm going to bring one knee, one foot into center, extend the other leg. And just do a little bit of this. Great work. Yes. Okay, I'm going to bring the knees in. Well, maybe plant the feet for 1 second. Just take the feet down. Okay, let's put the hands underneath the tush just like we did before. And once they're there, bring your knees back in. And then you've got this little lift that's just happening naturally here. You can walk your hands up higher. You're going to stretch the legs up, maybe overhead. And then you keep your hands there if that's helpful. Or you take your hands out, grab hold of your legs and draw them in and just take a few breaths. And wherever you are, I've lifted my head. You don't have to. Just be in your, whatever this is, just changing our relationship to gravity. And then release from this. Take your feet down. Little windshield wiper, I know, right against the wall. Just rock them side to side. Okay. So I'm going to come up to sitting, wiggle myself forward. Okay, you can roll to the side, or maybe you cross the ankles, grab hold of the feet, whoop, magically come up just like that. Okay, I'm going to take the bolster, or 2 blocks. So I'm putting mine second height and lowest height, but you could go higher height, second height. Take the bolster, and you might want another support for your head. This is where if you have a heating pad access, nice thing and throw it in here. There's on. Okay. Well, I have lots of blankets here. We're gonna go to Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, knees out. And if you don't have blankets, you grab some pillows or some cushions or just something to support underneath your thighs here so we can rest in. You don't want to cover yourself. Okay. Oh my gosh. Who's excited? I get it. He's excited. You get this feeling like, oh, okay, I'm going to just lie here and relax. If you have an eye pillow, put that on. And if the arms falling down here is too high for you, you just maybe find another blanket or pillow to support your arms. And then let your feet just, my feet are moving away from me. Okay. I'm not going to put any effort into anything other than inviting in this shift of gravity from the crown of the head or from the forehead, the third eye, into pelvic bowl. And with the feet together and the knees open, we invite the breath deep into the pelvic bowl as best as we can, without working to make it happen. It's about softening and receiving. Receiving the back of the head resting. Feel it. Drop into it. Feeling the back of your heart supported. If you don't feel the back of your heart supported, then you might need to come up and move the block so that it's the back of the heart is not dropping. You want to think of the heart space is open. Feel your arms resting, your wingspan. Not protecting, allowing you to be very open to receive this rest. Let your eyes release. Nothing to look at, but to look inside. Feel the eyes drop. Let your hands relax. Tongue resting, deeply resting. Your mind's eye, your deep internal awareness. Feel the whole pelvic floor soften. Create space for the pelvic bowl between the hip bones, the sacrum, front of the pubic bone. Everything housed there. Be bathed in spaciousness and breath. You don't have to do anything, but just watch it. It's happening. You might just have to let go of your breath as much as you can. And even bring your awareness to just feel the very gentle breeze movement of the tailbone. We move into our final few moments of Shavasana. You can stay exactly as you are. And if you'd like to shift into something else, or even just straighten the legs, put your these little blankets and your knees if you like. Just moving your body as gently as possible. Don't disturb too much of what we've cultivated. And then just stop talking for a little bit. Just savor this time of solitude and quiet. you're choosing to stay in your rest as we seal out this class, and just enjoy this extra time you're gifting yourself. And start to make your way out. Let that be by just gently lengthening the breath, feeling it move through you, expanding you, contracting you, breathing you. So you're ready to start to wiggle your fingers, your toes, your wrists and your ankles. And stretch your legs out or bend your knees. The arms stretch overhead. Just feel this great time of savoring the awakening. You're still on your bolster. Just remind yourself you're on height as you move over to your side. Rest in the fetal position for a few moments and just feel everything kind of ground back to the floor. And coming up right, feel is your time. Just taking a few moments of savoring, feeling the shift of energies and even the quality of your breath here. This deep inner awareness, inner knowing, the power within, its potential, potency. And as you're ready, friends, bringing your hands to rest on your body or in front of your heart, whatever feels right for you today. Just connecting to this sense of self, taking care of yourself, taking yourself for a walk, taking yourself to your practice, taking yourself, honoring the self. And preparing to seal this practice with one Om. We'll inhale fully and lengthen. Exhale through your mouth. And inhale fully to begin. Breathe your exhale into your hands. Catch your sacred breath and put there whatever it is you need right now. And then offer it to yourself. Lift your chin and open your eyes and offer it out. So much love and honoring. Thank you. Yes. All right. Have a good day, guys.